Welcome everybody for this video where we're going to actually talk about a bit about the community call demos and the community calls and all of that stuff. So we do get a lot of community call submissions and we always can provide guidance for them. But it's actually, we thought about that it's better to have a video where we actually walk through the process of how do you sign up for the community call and also what are the tips of how to get started. My name is Vesa Juvonen. I'm a principal product manager in Microsoft, and with me today as the two other hosts. Let's start with the ladies first. Luisa, can you do a quick intros?
Hi, I'm Luisa Fraser. I'm an MVP in Biz Apps and 365 Dev, and I'm here with David.
Hello, my name is David Warner, a principal with Quizzitive and a huge fan of all of you in the community. So excited to share this information with you today.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing community. So thank you everybody for joining and signing up for the community call. So we do get up to more than 1,200 attendees in a week on a community calls, and it's just mind-boggling. So it obviously depends a bit, attendee numbers depends a bit on the call, but we welcome everybody good to do demos on their calls. How do you do that? How do you do a demo? How do you sign up for the demo?
So first of all, we have a form. And you can access this form at the link below, or just like right out here, or it will be somewhere. So there's a link
somewhere in the video. Yes.
that leads to a form, and we will ask you some questions about your name, how we can reach you on LinkedIn and other socials, what's your email address, and what is your demo about. And once you hit submit, someone, maybe I, maybe David, maybe someone else will reach out to you and schedule you on one of the available slots in the future.
That's good. Okay, so there's a form which I will fill in to get signed up for the community call. What kind of demos are welcome? So, rocket science, heading to the Mars, I will show you how to do. Is that the expectation? What are we expecting the demos to be about?
I mean, I would love rocket science and heading to Mars and all of that, but really, I think we're looking for anything that drives passion, right? A lot of times people think they have to show a flux capacitor or what makes time travel possible or any of that. But really, each and every day, we're learning new things, and there's always new people coming into the technologies in the community that start from the very beginning. And so they need to know some of those level 100 or little tips and tricks. Sometimes it's an advanced tip or trick, but we're so familiar with it, we kind of generalize it and think, oh, nobody else would benefit from this because everybody already knows it. But the truth is, nobody knows it. And if it's valuable to you and you've found usefulness in it, others will as well. Right, Luisa?
That is totally true. Also, if you're super experienced in a topic, it might be that you've already forgotten something that a beginner just had learned yet. So it's always a good idea. So I'm quoting Emily Mancini here. She says, every voice matters. And I love this so much. And this is true for our community calls as well.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that people say is, well, but I saw a demo on this exact topic 6 months ago, but guess what? Everyone slept since then and no one remembers exactly what was covered. And even if they do, our brains can only hold so much. So they hear things from a different perspective. Sometimes when you say it or describe it in a new way or a different way, or you just have a different way in which you value it, they see the light in different ways as well. So never think that, oh, there's already been someone who talked about this or demoed it or presented on this, so we can never do anything like it again. Nope, that's okay. It's always good to have repetition because that's how we remember and how we learn.
So no one in community owns a topic. And I guess that is super important that everyone knows you're welcome here.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, coming back on the form and the submission. So the form, I fill in the form, somebody will contact, we will get scheduled the person on the demo call. What are the tips and tricks? How should I get prepared? What are the expectations for the demos? What are we wanting people to actually show?
Well, so I'll jump in here first on that. So I think there's a number of things that we could cover in terms of tips and tricks and reminders. The first one is to remember that it's going to be a good time. Everybody's going to be behind you. Don't get nervous. And even if you do get a little nervous, it's okay, because guess what? That means you care. And we want you to care about your audience. We want you to bring that passion, and that's all okay. But remember, we're all here to support you. We're behind you. We're excited for your demo. The other things to think about is you want to have something that helps set the context. So a lot of times you may think, well, I'm going to do a demo. I'll just jump right into the demo. But always think about at least preparing a few slides to start out with at least a bio slide, who you are, set the context, as well as what you're going to talk about. And then, Louisa, you had a really good idea around helping provide the problem statement or the goal of your demo, right?
Yeah. So, we love demo, as David already said, but it's always a good idea to have a few slides that will contextualize what you built. Just like a problem statement, just like say, hey, this is the problem that I'm trying to solve with the thing that I built. And that could be a sample, it could be some other things, but just like something that you made and others could either contribute to that or use it, but just like say which problem it does solve. That already helps a lot to set the scene for the audience, because you spend a lot of time with your sample already, but the audience didn't. And so there's a little gap of, I would say, experience and familiarity with that topic, even though a lot of people in the community calls are regular attendees and really see a lot of demos, but it always helps to have just like a few slides that tell us where does this fit in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have the
It's
intro.
almost like when I had those conversations with my wife where I've been talking to myself for 5 minutes and then I say something to her and she's like, what are you talking about? Right. It applies to the community calls. We have to set that context and provide, because we know so much already. Sometimes we jump to conclusions and think, oh, everybody is already familiar with this, but we can't always assume that.
Definitely. That's definitely a good practice, is not to start a demo by saying everybody knows this already. You must have seen this. You are aware of this. But no. It starts with basics, give the context. And even though the demo might be in 400 level, start the 100 level intro and then go to the 400 level, and not like, here's the demo. So because people don't really follow up on that.
Yeah.
Now,
sorry, just saying, and practice helps too, right? So if you find that you've got so much that you're excited about and you're going to show all this amazing stuff, if you find that the content is rich and there's a lot of it, don't be afraid to reach out to a member of the team, whether it be whoever's been communicating with you, me, Louisa, or anybody else, and say, hey, can I look to break this up into a couple of sessions? Because that's okay. It's always better to make a little mini series out of it than try to pack too much and then it kind of falls on deaf ears because no one can consume that much information in such a short period of time.
That's actually a really good point, but you're saying mini series. So the demo's time slot, is it 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 15, 10? How should I approach that?
Yeah, so we're aiming for 12, 13, maximum 14 minutes, which if you compare that to a regular meetup or a conference, that is really, really, really short. And we know that most people find it more difficult to condense everything that they want to say into a very short amount of time, because that is less than a quarter of an hour, than just like to extend something just like for a full day, let's say like that. And it is incredibly difficult, but we're all here to help, so we can guide you. So if you do have questions like, wow, how do I make that fit into 12, 13, 14 minutes? Either we do a mini series where we just like built upon the last episode that you did and make this just like a thing that you return as one of the usual suspects in our calls. Or we can guide you how to really condense this, but we're happy to have you more than one time in the call. Yes.
Yeah, and time always seems to move twice as fast when you're demoing because you're waiting on something and it feels like, oh my goodness, this never took this long. And it's only been a couple of seconds, but it turns into 10 and 15 and things are waiting and the servers are churning and all that. So it's sometimes good if you know you've got 12, 13, 14 minutes to kind of shoot for maybe 10. When you practice, do practice. It's always helpful to do that. Run through your demo and time things.
Yeah.
I always have a phone that's right next to my monitor. I start a timer or at least look at the clock, knowing when I need to finish to ensure, because it is respectful to the other presenters to give them their allotted time as well.
Yeah, because what we want to prevent is that either you go over time because it's the last demo of the call, and then people might already drop off because they have their next meeting scheduled as well, or that we would need to gently but very, very firmly remind you, this is not going to just last very, very much longer. So we want to avoid this. So practicing is not only a good idea in terms of time management, but also, of course, does my demo work? How long am I actually talking about this slide? And so please practice, practice, practice. And if you need help with that, we're here to help.
And also a good way of approaching this is that if you have a topic, an area where you want to talk about it, split it, for example, beginning or introduction, and then an advanced scenarios, and it's 2 different demos. Like we said, that's a mini series, and it's 2 different demos. That has more value for the attendee. It also has more value for the presenter. And the reason for that is that you will get 2 moments of a fame within a community call to demo things. And then you get community demos published in the Microsoft community channel, all of that stuff. So you get actually more value out of that submission as well. So which makes perfect sense. Now, a few more questions, because we want to kind of a common questions to address. So can I do a product demo? If I build something and a product demo of and trying to sell people and stuff in the community calls?
I feel like this is a trick question, right?
Let's say no, but. So we're not interested in pure product demos. So there are other formats where you can showcase that if you are a partner, and we're happy to guide you where we could do this, but that is not the place in the community call. But if you build something as a partner, as an ISV, and you have an amazing product and you want to show us how you build this and how you approach this and how maybe team collaboration works in your dev team and what you're using and which tools you use and what is the challenges while building this, without making this a product demo but only using that as your example, we're happy to have you.
Definitely. I think that's a good way of positioning that is it knows selling things, but again, telling stories and teaching other people on what you have built is a completely different thing. It's a positioning on the tone, but of course it's fine to mention that I'm from this company, I'm employed, this is my title, more details about the services from this URL. And also, if you have your own YouTube channel, you can absolutely mention that as well, because that's the benefit out of doing those community calls as well. Keep visibility and exposure for the presenters as well. So you can definitely say that, hey, I have more videos in this channel, this URL, good way of reaching to grow your own subscribers as well.
Yeah, that's funny, Vesa. Actually, I think you're right. I talk about that all the time at my YouTube channel, Warner Digital.
Can I mention that I have a blog running at m365princess.com? If that were the case.
We'll make sure that the URLs are mentioned. But yes, absolutely, because that's definitely the value back for the presenters on doing those and sharing their learnings. And really, this is all about sharing your learnings for the others to benefit. And then we build on this common knowledge of the community, which is super, super important.
Yeah.
Now, final kind of a thoughts. What is the kind of a top 5 tips? What are the tips what people should be looking into? So let's recap a bit. 12 to 13 minutes, have few slides, demo, resources slides, so we can find more resources. That would be kind of a good structure. 12 to 13 minutes. What else that people should be looking into?
I think if you're going to share code, which is always often, whether you're showing code in Power Platform or VS Code or anything else, sometimes we've got these big, massive monitors, and Vesa and I joke about not being able to live without 17 of them in front of us and stuff like that. High resolutions. Try to lower your resolution or increase your font size, because for us, we're sitting right in front of it, but when it's shared on Teams, it's not always easily legible. So increase those font sizes or lower your resolution, or maybe both, is always going to help ensure that any of your audience can see what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So that's what I tell just like literally every single one of our presenters, 2 things. It's just like have fun and zoom in.
Yes, that's actually a really good point. And then maybe the final tip is really to have fun and try to enjoy and positivity. People will remember your kind of posture and the audio, the tone of your audio. How much energy did you actually reflect it through the camera? But since we're quite often doing this with the screen sharing, it's not that you're doing a camera and screen sharing at the same time, unless you have a super magical studio equipment like David does, but that's a separate thing. But really kind of have that energy and excitement in the tone, because then that will actually resonate on the other side for people who are listening and watching the demo as well.
Yeah,
but
100%.
before anyone gets too scared, just like remember, you will be in a virtual room with hundreds, it's just like 200, 300, 400 people who wants to see you succeed and who wants to learn with you. And that is like so amazing. And I think if you think about it, then this is pretty amazing. That means you do not need to be scared. And also you do not need to be just like asleep while presenting. So make it fun for everyone.
Yeah, and I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. It's okay to be a little nervous because that means you care, but also don't feel like you have to be perfect. We've all been there. We've all been in, the demo god bad days and stuff like that where things just don't work. And if that happens, it's okay. Don't feel like perfection is the
I'm always nervous.
it happens, right? So
And that's actually a good reminder as well. And be kind to yourself. So whenever you're watching the recording, you will find all of the things what you intended to say, but you didn't say. Nobody knows about that. So so come back next time. We learn by doing and testing, and everybody is welcome to do these demos. So please sign up on the forum. Any last words on that side? Excitement.
Looking forward to seeing what everybody's got. Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. Don't hesitate and reach out if you have questions. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening on the video, and hopefully that is useful. But again, we are here to help. Reach out. Feel free to reach out. Any of us or anybody else in our community team, a larger team, everybody is willing to help and get you on the right call and get you the right support as needed. But everybody is welcome. And thank you for all of the existing already done presenters in the community calls. There's so many cool demos. Thank you for that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.